I don't know how it started, I don't know what you did. Now I'm the gal that's chasing you up, really flip my lid. Come on, you eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Well, what are you gonna do with this eager beaver, baby of mine? Ooh, I'm all there beside you, no matter where you stop. I'll follow you to movies, even to the barber shop. Now, eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Eager beaver, baby. Well, what are you gonna do with this eager beaver, baby of mine?
Hello, and welcome to Was That an Orgy? Yay! It was for me. It was definitely an orgy.
Oh my God! I think I hear a guest coming up the stairs.
Right
Here she comes. No pun intended.
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be?
Oh my God! I hope she's beautiful.
I'm gonna
and
put my
blonde.
money on Marcea Wiggins. What do you think?
Oh my God! She's so beautiful.
She is so beautiful.
Okay. So this is a show called Was That an Orgy? You know what that means? It's not suitable for young listeners.
Unless you're very, very liberal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you want your kids to know about female orgasm, anatomy, all sorts of good stuff like that, and you're not scared of, some crude language, some naughty jokes, stuff like that, stick around. But if this is your very, if you're in the room with your very religious grandmother, maybe don't have her listen,
or do. She might learn something, get enlightened, see where she went wrong, and
spend the rest of the night masturbating and
Exactly.
be a happier person tomorrow.
maybe for the first
You
time
never
in her
know.
life. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh my God, I would be so happy to be someone who inspires someone to masturbate for the first time in their lives.
In so many ways.
I'd be so proud.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Whether
This
it's thinking about you or what it is.
Small goals. Really.
Smuggles.
Small goals.
Oh.
Smuggles?
I'm like, what are smuggles? Is that some kind of Harry Potter shit?
Yeah, I'm just going to randomly start talking about keystering things to smuggle it,
Yeah.
Let's keister something
That's
today.
right.
That could be a segment on the show. What did you keister into the show today?
Well, and, talking about the vagina, that's something that we can smuggle, a lot of things in. I have you? I've, back in the day, let's see, I smuggled sharks on a plane. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Snakes on a plane.
Anaconda on a plane. Snakes on a plane.
Yeah. Hello. Oh, Jazz.
Oh my
she
God.
has two. My dog has two.
The dog thought that joke was not funny.
She is laughing.
Oh,
okay.
she is laughing. Okay.
She's my dog. She's laughing.
I'm going to move this out of the way because it's covering my boob.
Good vibes only.
Yeah.
Good vibes only.
I think, you know what? I want to go ahead and bring all the vibes. Bring all the vibes. Give us your meh vibes, too. Like if
meth
you're having
vibes?
If you're having a meh day.
Oh, I thought you said meth. Like
if you're
crystal
having
meth.
a meh day, go ahead and hang out with us anyway. Like maybe we'll make it better than meh for you.
And maybe not your meth vibes. I thought you said meth vibes.
Don't bring meth vibes. So
No.
I have some questions that I'm dying to ask Dr. Marcea Wiggins today.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Are you going to foreshadow or what's shaking?
Well, so I've heard that the more a woman orgasms, the more tight and healthy her pussy is. Oh my God, what's going on with my TikTok?
Oh no, you just lost your TikTok.
Oh, did we just get banned?
Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, well, anyway,
We'll keep moving. The show
us,
must go on. Maybe I'll
that's
try and
right.
fix it while you and Marcea are talking, but
There you go.
For now, we're going to just keep the show rolling. But anyway, that is one of the things I've heard. I've also heard it's a great ab workout. I want to know about squirting. How does this work? It's a mystery to me.
Oh,
My body
I
can
know.
do it, but I want to know,
I know something about that, actually, because I have to say, it's always good to, you can go ahead and get your phone. I'll tell you while I tell
me a
everybody
story.
else. I'll tell you a story. So I used to harass people and just I was not being a squirter. I just always thought that I used to even tell people when they would talk about their girlfriend squirting, I used to say you're getting peed on. I said that up till very recently. Well, dude, guess what? You're getting peed on. If it comes from the urethra and that's it. It's pee. I mean, that's all it can be. Now, what I've looked into it, And it turns out that what they call the female prostate is like within the tissue. God, I'm going to fuck the shit out of this. Like, so
that's why I was kind of wanting to ask Dr. Marcea.
She might not even, well, she might know about this.
She totally knows about this.
Does a doctor need to know about squirting? Well, anyway, she can tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Because, but so this is what I read.
So far, what you're saying jives with what I know about it, but I wanted to get like the super technical.
Well, from what I understand is that like it's above the G spot. Within the vagina, like, 2.5 inches in, something like that, like, around the cervix, that there's this spongy glandular tissue that goes through to like the, urethral wall. Okay, here's where I know I'm fucking this shit up really bad.
Yeah.
But basically, there's something to the equivalent of being. I'm not a doctor.
I'm not.
There's something to the equivalent of being like.
Tumor.
Yeah, it's not a tumor. Yeah, it's your squirt G spot. So essentially, there's like this, what's equivalent to the female prostate, which is something that I think that on its own accord, when not being sexually stimulated, it just helps to secrete kind of an antibacterial lubrication for the urethra. And I know it's sexy. It's real sexy. But
and my pussy's antibacterial.
It's so
you should really put some on your hands.
It's like a self-cleaning oven.
Oh my God, It's amazing. No more scrubbing for hours.
I know, but don't soak in it.
Yeah. Madge, don't soak in it.
Don't soak in it.
It's horrible.
Unless she's into that. But in any case, like over time, when the female prostate is being stimulated and aroused, it will start to engorge, and that there is a fluid that will build up in it. That basically, it's true that it's not completely removed from pee, but that it's like it's a highly diluted, high hormonal concentrate sort of a solution that gets excreted.
It can smell a lot like male cum.
Yeah. And and I remember also I read that it has like a higher glucose level in it. So it is sweeter. So it's like sweet pea.
Sweet. Yeah. Sweet pea cum.
Use your vine right and you'll get sweet pea right off the vine. How about that?
Oh my God. You don't even have to husk it.
Yeah, no.
But you'll work up some arm muscles getting it.
To each his own. Some people need to be husked a little bit, Exactly.
Some don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got to butter the corn a little bit maybe before you get that sweet pea.
So the interesting thing that I found is that on women, that spot can be in slightly different places. It's
like behind your ear.
It's all.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I'm like, oh, you got something behind your ear. You're like, no, don't touch it. You're my sister.
And then you start gleeking.
Oh my God, that's what's wrong with me.
No, I feel so dirty. Dun, dun. All the times you gleeked on me as a child. Now I know.
You're like,
God,
that's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but like, there are some people where it's like really, really toward the opening, and somewhere it's a little deeper in. But I think a lot of that is like just anatomy, and like, it can vary just a little bit based on how long your whole vagina is. Like some people got them deep vaginas.
Deep vagina.
I know.
That sounds like a Stuart Smiley affirmation video.
Because my vagina is deep enough, and it's beautiful enough, and it has spongy tissue. And
God damn it, people will fuck it. Yep. That's our affirmation.
Hey, everybody, we have a public service announcement. It's Michael's birthday. It's Michael's birthday. He hates this.
Oh, he hates this.
He hates this. He likes to be behind the scenes, so you'll never see his face. But we love Michael, and it's his birthday.
Yes, he's our sound engineer, but actually he does everything else, literally everything else for this podcast.
Yeah.
So we love him. We are going to have him bend over the table at the end of the show, and we are going to deliver him birthday spanking.
Oh!
So stay tuned. He's crying right now.
He's blushing.
He's calling his
He's
mom.
blushing.
No.
He's fanning himself like, oh my, these dirty bald sisters are making me blush. Do you need a fainting couch, Michael? Yeah.
He needs a spanking couch. That's what he needs.
A spanking bench.
couch.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think it's fair to talk behind our next guest back before she's here. Our next guest, who we forgot to give the directions to. Oops. ADD is a real fun thing. So she's driving around looking for us, and she is a naturopathic doctor. And actually, I go way back with Marcea. We got to know each other in this lovely Portland rock choir that was called the Dahu Chorus. That was related to, did you know she was in that?
Yeah, I didn't realize she was a singer at all.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like,
my God.
Operatic. I think she's trained in opera.
What doesn't she do?
What doesn't she do? Who don't we do? What doesn't she do? And so she's so multifaceted, multi-talented. She's brilliant. I was reading her bio today, which just I learned so much about her just from her bio, from her website for her. Oh God, I'm gonna screw this up already. It's called Santé Aesthetic Wellness, and I believe it's on. I should have this all.
It's in the show notes.
Yeah, it's in the show notes.
In the show notes.
If you want to go there, it's in the show notes.
I love this place, by the way. It is the place where I get facials. It's where I go soak. It's like massage and aesthetic medicine as well. So it is like everything. And
it's one-stop shopping. You can get vaginal rejuvenation done there now.
I'm so curious about this. Like this is the one thing that my brain is just hung up on. Like, what is vaginal rejuvenation? Like, is it pussy spa day? Like, do they give it a mud mask and like
I think
pop the zimples on it? Like, what is it?
Zimples. Oh no.
Oh, by the way, if your pussy has something that resembles pimples on it, don't pop them and go see a doctor. FYI.
Yeah. It could be a shanka.
It could be all sorts of things.
It
My
could
goodness.
be. I know, it's true. But yeah, I think that the vaginal rejuvenation, she might correct me a little bit, but I think it's like being essentially like finger blasted with some kind of ultrasound wand. I think that's what it is. Whoa. I think that's exactly how they describe it.
Wow.
It's Santé. In the clinical manuals, you get finger blasted by an ultrasound wand.
I'm like, wow, sign me up. That sounds
She's
like
probably
a fun
listening
afternoon.
to the podcast, driving here, and then just like driving past,
like,
driving away, like,
no.
Oh God.
Either that or she's trying to get here even faster to put an end to this madness.
Right, exactly. My business, my career. Why?
What the fuck are
Why
these
did I trust you bitches?
A bunch of pervies are all lined up outside the door tomorrow. Finger blast me with your sonic dildo.
Sonic Dildo. That's a band name.
Sonic dildo.
It's going to be now.
Can it be our new band name? Like, I
Yes.
miss the ukulele so much. Maybe we need to start a new band called the Sonic Dildos.
Sonic Dildo. I like it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, coming soon.
Yeah. Pun
Sonic
intended.
Dildo.
Pun intended. Yeah. So she's going to talk a little bit about that. She's going to talk about also how to keep your hormones in check. Hormones, they have
Good
so much to do
God.
with our sex drive, and we don't
Yeah.
even realize all the things that affect our hormones. Including drinking. That's the saddest thing is that a lot of
Yeah.
people drink because it loosens their inhibitions, but then sadly my testosterone circles the drain.
Yeah.
It just flushes your testosterone from your system.
Yeah, so you
not
get chubs, but your tits get a little bigger. So
Even if you're a man?
yeah,
that's
absolutely
so
can happen because you accumulate so much like frontal body fat and stuff from drinking. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
But I have to say I have a lot of experience with the hormone thing because I woke up 2 years ago and felt like someone had sucked all the joy out of my body. Every little ounce of joy that had been in there for
Not in a good way, though.
not sucking in a good way, but like as if it had just evaporated from my body and I was the crankiest, grumpiest, least amused human you will ever meet in your life. And I went to my doctor and I was like, I will murder someone. Please give me hormones. And they gave me estrogen and progesterone. And I swear it maybe took like a week to feel a difference, but the difference was so marked. It was like immediately I started feeling so much better. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm high now. It was like, oh, I'm myself again. Oh, I feel normal. Like I didn't realize how much of my good mood, my charitable nature, my humor, all of that is really related to hormones. And that like if your hormones dip really hard, and you're like in your mid 40s, or you've had some like kind of female troubles happening or something like that might affect your hormones, I would say talk to your doctor because, there's, and again, someone could correct me on this, but what my doctor told me is that it is safe to be on hormones through your 60s, and that there are some benefits to being on hormones, and it outweighs some of the risks, and especially through to your 60s. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can get, a little more than a decade of happy fun time, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, girl.
For sure.
I spaced out because I think she still didn't have the address. So the last thing I heard from you was if you have a John Waters movie going on in your vagina, female troubles.
Yes.
And then what do you do?
Oh, just talk to your doctor about hormone replacement therapy. It's easy if you have health insurance. It's like, and I know this isn't accessible to everyone, but these are actually drugs that are pretty inexpensive. I know that generally, female medicine is not less expensive. That's, I think, a hangover from the patriarchy, but like,
you think?
Yeah, I think it might be. But these are some of the hormones that I think that are less expensive because it really is self-preservation. More people with penises would probably be murdered if women could not go on these drugs. I'll tell you, I was one of them for a while. And, I get like how real this is. Like, I really felt like I know that I'm being affected by my hormones. I'm miserable. I'm pissed off. I especially hate this person who's in my viewfinder right now. And I was just like, dun, 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 So I went to the doctor knowing that like, that there was probably something that could be done about it. And it absolutely worked. And it's made such a difference. And I'm just normal again. It isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't like, whoa, I'm all hopped up on estrogen and progesterone. And then I've also known some women who also add testosterone into that. In our family, testosterone runs a little high. So I don't, says my whiskers. But so I did not feel the need to pull that into my regimen. But I think for a lot of women, if you're feeling a real big decrease in your sex drive, testosterone can be such a help. But it's really important that you take it in, with estrogen and with progesterone, and that you get like a hormonal profile done, because you don't just want to like add progesterone and suddenly you're growing a goatee, and that's going to kind of like throw you off in a different direction. You kind of want to go back to where you were, unless you're thinking about, a gender transformation.
Yeah. Yeah. And get mammograms, because I know is it, the estrogen can like increase breast cancer? So that was kind of the traditional thinking. Now they're like, well, it's not that much of a risk. Like it increases the risk just a tiny bit until 60, and after 60, it increases it more. So my doctor really didn't have any concerns about, or very minor concerns about giving that to me, but I am getting mammograms. I am making sure that, I'm on top of my care as far as that goes, because you don't want to get behind in that sort of thing. You don't want to find out when it's too late. Yeah. Yeah. So good to know. Look at you, miseducated.
I know. Miseducated.
Miseducated.
I am miseducated.
And now everyone's miseducated. You're welcome.
You're welcome for me sharing my miseducation with you.
Sounds like another podcast offshoot.
Oh, yeah. Can I just say, I have a friend who's baking me a loaf of sourdough bread that's like from 100-year-old starter.
In your vagina?
In my vagina, yes.
In your vagina.
Baking it in my vagina right now. And I'm so excited. I'm kind of obsessing about this thought of eating sourdough bread after the show. Yeah. And I know you miss keto. You're looking at me like, good Lord, sister,
you are
don't
so
do it.
Weak.
But
so weak.
Freaking sourdough bread is my jam. So
no,
hardcore.
It is mine too. That's why I'm like,
God.
Shut the fuck up.
I am like, that's
all right. I'm changing the subject right now. I'm not going to sit here and drool on camera. This is,
You're
for those
jealous.
that are just listening, we're on camera too. I'm jealous. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous. So I went down a wormhole or a vagina hole on YouTube today. And it turns out Gwyneth Paltrow, have you guys heard this? She's selling, I'm sorry to even bring up her name because who fucking cares? But she's selling a candle that's called This Smells Like My Vagina for $75 a pop. Holy fucking shit.
Oh my God.
Like you can, seriously, this is going to give so many entrepreneurs out there such great ideas as to what you can put on a candle. Like the one I had today is like a candle that says like, mansplaining, and basically it just like claims to evaporate all the mansplaining that would come up in the air. But
oh my God, I could have used that in my last marriage.
She didn't. Yeah, it turns out. So her story was her and her friends and family, they were on mushrooms. She walked into the place and the candle smelled good, and she said, "This smells like my vagina." And then bling, light bulb went off. They started selling the candle. $75 a pop for people. Really? Do you really think that she's just squatting over a vat of beeswax and kegeling, all day, every day to put her vagina essence into a candle? It's amazing.
I don't trust that. I think she might have an elevated idea of what her vagina smells like. Mm-hmm. Unless someone it's just like some really basic smelling
Unless it smells
candle.
like sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Does your pussy smell like sourdough bread?
I don't know what you smell it.
No,
Get down
Michael.
here.
Michael, smell her vagina and tell me what it smells like.
On your knees, birthday boy.
Happy
Come on.
birthday to you, motherfucker.
He's like, this is the worst birthday ever. How do I blow out this candle? No, make it go away.
God, make this day end, please.
Oh, shit.
That's like, but this is really, it's kind of the best day and the worst day to be with the Bawd sisters because now you have a big target on you because it's your birthday.
Exactly. All
you're
the
gonna
attention you've never wanted.
Yeah,
And more.
exactly. The attention you do want and don't want.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
rolled in together in this inextricable mass of attention.
Yes. Sorry, buddy. We love you. This is what it's like to be loved by us.
It hurts, doesn't it? It burns. Sometimes it burns.
Sometimes it does burn. I was thinking about the vaginal rejuvenation too.
Yeah.
And I know that like having a lot of people have this, ignorant notion in their minds that like, sluts have bigger pussies. And I think that actually it's the opposite. It's like the more someone's getting laid, the more they're using their Kegels, hopefully, unless they're totally self-absorbed like sloth whores.
Starfish.
Yeah, starfish. Yeah, pillow princesses. And so the more they're getting laid, actually, the more they're getting, vaginal exercise happening.
I agree with that.
So then I started, but, I know that I understand, not to put you on the spot, because I'm sure that you're tight like that.
Dude,
but
it is like the fist of death.
The fist of death.
Just kidding.
I love
Not
that.
quite.
You've got like a death metal pussy.
I've
That's
got like,
hot.
remember the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip? Dude, that's me.
Mine's like the other superhero doll that you can like pull the arms and it stretches forever. I'm Gumby, damn it. I'm that guy. 'Cause I don't get laid like you. Mr. Stretch, what was that called? I don't even remember.
I don't remember, but I totally got the...
You know what I'm talking
the
about.
The visual is there, and it
Yeah.
will not be there for a while.
Yeah. Sorry. You'll be thinking about that next time you get laid and just be like, why can't I unsee? It's so terrible. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I totally ADD'd on myself. Like, why was I talking about your vagina?
If sluts have actually tighter pussies from all the orgasms and the kegeling.
Thanks,
Yeah.
attention span. What I was going to say is that, so I know that childbirth actually does make a difference. Do you know, like, what childbirth does to the vagina? I mean, I know they have to, like...
I mean, I know it hurt like fuck, but...
I saw it. Like, for all you listening, when Char was,
good
like,
Lord.
giving birth to her first child, I passed out 3 times. That was the most put the horror and horrifying thing I've ever seen. Oh, my fucking God.
My pussy is enough to make her pass out.
And
Isn't that
your
amazing?
pussy is the original inspiration for my terminal birth control. I was like, nope, that's not happening to my JJ. Ain't no way.
No.
Yeah, my tunnel of love is not taking barges through it like yours did. That was horrifying.
That did not feel good.
Yeah.
No drugs. It was
So-
horrible.
Just curious too, like on the other side, did you notice some shiznit change? Like, and what'd you do about it?
You know, I did notice some things change. Like at first, right after giving birth, it was really sensitive. And kind of in a good way, because you know, like,
you mean after ripping from your vagina to your asshole?
Well,
was
it didn't.
sensitive for
It
a
didn't
while?
the first time.
Way to
It
go,
did not.
Cody Van.
Yeah, because I did the whole cocoa butter massage thing. That actually works. Everybody, if you are pregnant, massage your vagina with cocoa butter. Or
Actually,
something.
wait, no. Partners of pregnant women massage her vagina with cocoa butter.
and do kind of like stretching exercises where you kind of like gradually stretch it more and more open. And I did not tear with my
that's
first
amazing.
child. With my second child, I was too busy with my first child to do the cocoa butter thing, and I tore that time. That is all the difference in the world.
I just had a seizure of empathy.
But I did notice, and I don't know, because their dad has
Donkey dick.
a donkey.
It was
dick.
a donkey dick, yeah.
So after he and I divorced, I did notice that there were some penises that I was like,
Is that in there?
I barely feel something. But you know, eventually I was able to recalibrate myself to be more sensitive. But
Yeah.
but you know, after a couple kids and a big old weenie for 14 years, that's like, you get used to a certain thing and you're like, oh, I don't feel anything less than that. And then, but pussies can recalibrate. Hi. And
Pussies can recalibrate. And here's Marcea
they do.
Wiggins.
Woo! Doctor. Oh, by the way,
masks. I didn't
Doctor.
even think about bringing a mask.
Dr. Marcea Wiggins, are you okay with us not wearing masks?
Well, we're all vaccinated, right?
Yes, we are all
Double.
vaccinated.
Cool.
Double vax.
Hi,
Hi,
ladies.
oh my
Hello.
God, we're so
Hello.
excited to see you.
Yeah.
We've just been filling the time and talking. Well, we talked about her pussy. We talked about my pussy. We don't.
And
need
now
to
we're going to talk about
pussy.
yours. Yeah. No, just joking. No.
Super.
Yeah.
So, tell
No, we're
us
not
about
going to put
your
you on the
pussy.
spot like that. Not like that. But in other ways, we actually, luckily, we were talking about what childbirth can do to the vajayjay. And actually, before I even jump into that, I don't think that we really introduced you with your credentials. So
Yeah.
why don't you do that? Because I looked at your bio today and I was like, ain't no way I'm going to remember all this. Ain't no way. So if you could take over there and then we'll jump
sure.
in. Yeah. Who are you?
There you go.
And what are you doing here?
Who am I?
Yeah.
This is a very good question. No, I am Dr. Marcea Wiggins, and I'm a board-certified naturopathic physician, and have a background, though, also in emergency medicine, critical care psych, drug and alcohol rehab, event medicine, as you remember. I used to run a team for that. But I did end up specializing as a naturopath in women's health. I delivered babies for a year or so before deciding that that was not where I wanted to focus my time. But suffice it to say, I have dealt with a fair amount of vaginas at this point.
Nice.
And so, but what I kind of dovetailed off of that, and it was a magical experience delivering babies, and nothing else like it. But boy, does it take its toll sometimes for the ladies. So yeah, we kind of there's so much when we think about ways to kind of age well and sustain ourselves. And for women, that area gets ignored quite a bit and not discussed.
Yeah.
So you know, now with my clinic, Sante Aesthetics and Wellness, we focus on aging well practices. So, of course, the most important thing is keeping you healthy on the inside, optimized in that regard, mentally, emotionally, spiritually as well. We are very encouraging of that. But you know, we do specialize also in helping you feel great on the outside too.
Yes, you do. Yes.
Those things are so connected. Like I have done some things that were really big self-care steps and, you know, made me feel better on the outside, and it did affect my inside, and my inside affects my outside every single day. Like, it's that, you know, get out of bed, how do you want to look, how do you want to present yourself to the world sort of thing. And the more you can integrate those things, like how you how you feel, how you, present yourself, whatever that means to you. It is so important to be engaged in that way.
Yeah. And also, like, investing in yourself in those ways is so validating to all those parts of your being. Like, when you are investing in those aspects of your being, you are validating that you're worth it. You're a worthwhile investment. And you tend to engage in those parts of your life because of those things as well.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, one of the things in our oath is there's a commitment to helping people with their overall sense of well-being. And so a lot of people will say, oh, like, as a naturopath, what are you doing? Doing Botox and lasers and all that stuff, well, absolutely, the way we look in the mirror and the way we feel when we look in the mirror about ourselves. Is it the most important thing? Well, no, of course not. But does it go a heck of a long way to your overall sense of well-being and your quality of life? Of course. And I mean, should it be that way as much as it is in this day and age? No, of course not. But it is. It's the world we live in. We live with Instagram and Facebook and selfie this, selfie that. And it's just, kind of a reality that we all reckon with. And so, I'm a big proponent of not letting people do too much, having it look very natural, but there's all kinds of great technologies that if our mothers would have had them, all they had were plastic surgery, all they had as an option was plastic surgery. Now we have so many great different technologies and lasers and I do not only Botox and fillers, but I do PDO threads and Sculptra and like all these great collagen stimulators.
Go through some of those things because I'm super curious. What are PDO threads? What's Sculptra?
Well, my focus really is on rejuvenating the tissue so that it can sort of we make collagen until we're about 20. And then at 20, our collagen begins to break down to 1% to 2% per year. So by the time you're 35 or 40, you're 15, 20% down in the collagen department and it starts to show up. And everybody has different, your genetics, do you smoke, your lifestyle, how much sun exposure. There's so many factors that play a part, how that shows up. But so there are a lot of different things you can do to help stimulate and bring back that collagen that you've lost. And so PDO threads is polydaxanone. It's actually a resorbable suture that's used during, it's been used in cardiovascular surgery and such for like 30 years, for very safe and effective. It stimulates collagen wherever it's put. And so we use PDO threads not only in the face but in the body, and I can lift tissue. It's like a mild facelift type effect. You can layer it in grids and lattice works to like support the tissue. So
interesting.
And you can pretty much put them wherever.
In the vagina too.
You actually can.
Wow.
Yes,
I figured.
Yes, indeed. and then there's Sculptra. Sculptra, as we talked about, it's basically the same kind of thing, and these molecules are based on a sugar molecule, actually, that irritates the tissue just enough that it produces new collagen. So the thread is the sort of solid filament form of it. Sculptra is actually tiny little particles in saline that we can wash through the tissue, and it will stimulate collagen for 25 months are the white paper studies.
Wow.
But you see results for up to 5 years. Most people who work clinically with it will tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, it is like magic in a bottle for sure.
Wow.
And then another thing that we specialize in also, and this will bring us right back around to the vagina, is
always,
yes, as everything does, yes.
It's like it always comes back to the vagina.
No pun intended.
And it should.
Yeah.
Truly. So PRP, platelet-rich plasma is another thing that we use. We do hair restoration with it. We can use it in the face for fine lines and wrinkles or filling in hollows. But we also can apply it to the clitoral hood and the vaginal wall. It is called the O-shot.
What does it do?
Yes. Well,
I mean, I'm guessing by the name, but what does it do?
The big O shot.
Exactly.
Go on.
so PRP it's basically your own blood. That is very carefully drawn and then spun down in a tube in a centrifuge with a proprietary auger that separates out the red blood cells and the white blood cells. And that leaves this beautiful golden serum on the top. So it's like platelets are little packets of miracles, basically. There's over 100 growth factors in each platelet. And so when those are left in the plasma, so you get this like liquid serum, and it can be injected anywhere. Anywhere those platelets release into the tissue is going to basically, they're like little stem cells. They're going to stimulate new tissue, more cells. Wherever they're put, it's going to make more of them.
No way. That's amazing. So let's say if you're, and I've heard this from so many women, you are like perimenopausal and you start getting that like, what's going on with my clit? It's not as like sensitive as it used to be, you know, that kind of thing. Is this something that you would recommend? Like where you'd be like, oh, maybe give that a shot. Well,
I just imagine having your clit injected into, and I just about
don't think about that.
I had a seizure.
We don't talk about that because if you imagine, you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, this sucks. I remember when little Clitty used to give me so much pleasure, and now she's not quite as responsive as she used to be. Like, if this is something you can do and it's going to give you years of pleasure, you might be like, yeah, I'm going to take a little stab. You know, it's like
a little stab will do you.
Well, I will tell you ladies what. I do everything I can to not bring my patients discomfort.
Good.
So
good.
you go, Teresa. You can calm down.
Okay, good. You want all of the good things and none of the discomfort, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
That's another area I specialize in. So,
good. Thank God.
So yeah, while the thought of having an injection into your clitoral hood does not sound appealing at all, there is really amazing topical numbing agents that we use, and surprisingly, a lot of my patients say they don't even feel it.
Wow,
It
amazing.
will feel like a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
And it's one quick injection, and then the other injection area is about 2 centimeters inside the vagina, more to the anterior, otherwise known as the G-spot zone.
So toward your belly button.
Yeah, toward your belly button.
I'll be over here passing out.
I'm loving this, by the way.
Yeah.
You're passing out. I'm like, tell me more.
I'm the one that passed out 3 times in her birth, while she was giving birth.
Well,
so
yeah,
it
not
only
my
makes
birth,
sense.
but yeah.
Yeah, and her birth, even though I'm younger. Whatever. Anyway, go ahead. Go.
And so does that like stimulate G-spot sensitivity, or is that more okay? Cool.
It will grow fresh new cells.
Oh, I see.
So fresh,
crap.
what we say technically is re-epithelialization, but also revascularization. So it will grow new blood cells. It increases blood flow to the area and creates more. And really, when I do it, if I'm assessing the tissue for signs of gynecological aging. Ooh, man.
That's a hard word to say.
She said hard.
Yeah. Hard.
So when I'm assessing the tissue, if there's any, what happens as we kind of begin to go through perimenopause and menopause, not only is the estrogen really vital in so many ways, but obviously the tissue becomes more friable and weakened, less vascularized, less dewy, naturally lubricated. All of that begins to diminish when the effect of estrogen is removed from the body. through the menopausal process or by hysterectomy, which was very, very commonplace. I tell you, I don't know how our mothers did it and their mothers who got hysterectomies, and then they were just all those hormones, gink, gone.
Yeah.
You know, and they lost their minds, and everybody thought they were crazy, and because their hormones just totally
disappeared.
Yeah. So and sometimes at too early of an age, if you're in your 30s and 40s and you're not truthfully menopausal and you have a hysterectomy, and there are times when you need it, you know, there certainly are medical conditions that you need it, but man, support the body and give it some estrogen, please.
Yeah.
I was going off about this earlier because I stared hormone replacement therapy like a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it made such a huge difference. I was
It's a
perimenopausal.
game changer.
And I felt like I was going to murder someone. I was just like, doctor, please give me something so I don't kill someone.
Yeah. Instead of just Prozac, right?
Right. Yeah, because
it's just some
that'll do the
antidepressants.
opposite to your sensitivity and your sex drive.
Yep.
It just like, now you're like, oh my God, my pussy doesn't care anymore and I don't care anymore.
Yeah. That's something else that we do at Sante is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy for men and women. So
Can you say
yes,
that again? That was a lot of syllables for me.
bioidentical hormone replacement therapy.
Thank you. Now I got it. Okay.
So these are bioidentical in that they're plant-based. They are not, for example, the original nurse studies that were done on nurses and it did not end well. They were using horse-based estrogens.
Oh,
Wow.
So not only were they doing really cruel things to the horses to get the estrogens, ultimately it was not the kind of estrogen that our body really deals well with.
it didn't make them want more weaning.
No.
I'm sorry. I had to say it. I just had to. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
All of a sudden, women needed men to be hung like horses.
Oh my God, is that what's wrong? That's what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
backlash. Oh, the backlash.
So the I thought I could go there with you guys. And,
Oh, yeah, you can. I mean,
always.
Yeah.
So basically, those estrogens were bad. They were giving them in massive doses, and women were dying of strokes and all kinds of terrible things, getting cancer. And so they ended the study and said, that's it, hormones are bad. Well, it's a blanket statement that still kind of sticks in standard medicine if they're not trained more so otherwise. And so bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, BHRT,
That's
is
easier to say.
plant-based.
Yeah.
So bioidentical in that the molecules match the exact molecules of a human estrogen.
Good.
So your body knows what to do with it and processes it. And we have 3 different types of estrogen. We have progesterone and testosterone as women. And when our testosterone levels are depleted and low, we no longer have a sex drive. Yeah. So really important, not to some doctors, some MDs out there, standard docs who, don't know otherwise. There are functional medicine doctors out there who do, but those who don't know, maybe they will give you like an estrogen patch. Post hysterectomy. And that's great. That's something. That's better than nothing. But those patches are kind of sticky, and you got to wear them all week and then trade them out, and then they get gross in the shower, and then you want this wet, sticky patch on your body all
That's
week.
hot.
And
Oh yeah, it does not sound nice.
not so enjoyable. So I find I do different modes of kind of delivering those hormones, but all of that is, there are different ways that are better, more higher compliance, I think, from patients. But like as you were saying, totally life changing for people.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I went from feeling crazy, and I knew I was crazy. Like that's the worst part. You're feeling crazy. You're not yourself, and you are powerless to change that because it's like having the worst PMS of your life constantly, and you can't do a damn thing about it. You're like, yeah, I know I'm crazy. I'm sorry. And I still want to kill you.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I'm glad to hear, too, that there's actually this hormone replacement therapy for men as well, because you do want to. I mean, what's the use of getting us women all like super inflated and charged and wet, only to become like the place that your husband wants to touch to wet his finger to change the page when he's reading in bed. You know what I mean? It's like it's got to be something for them too.
Yeah.
So
Well, I will tell you, my dear. I mean, I love the men. I love the women. Men have had Viagra and penis pumps and a variety of different things for several decades now. So I made a little commitment to taking care of the ladies and making sure that they could deal with that 4-hour hard-on that the Viagra gives you.
God bless you, doctor.
I know.
You will be in
Taking
my
care of the
prayers.
vagina.
I bet you when Viagra first came out, like so many women were like, "Oh God, no, why?"
That's when swinging got popular again, so they could outsource the job. They're
There
like,
you go.
"Will you please suck my husband's dick?"
Yeah, exactly. Please, help me,
Oh
I'm
God,
raw.
for the love of God.
But really, I mean, like if a woman's gone through menopause and her tissues are just not healthy and robust as they once were, it's painful. It's not comfortable, and so I mean, it's quality of life, but it's also, I mean, I'm telling you, I have had patients who literally have lost marriages because their hormones just disappear.
Yeah.
They, I mean, kids think they've gone crazy. Husbands are like, oh, who's this like relate? She's crying one minute and yelling at me at the other minute. And then, of course the sex life goes down the toilet. So it's saving relationships and families
Yeah.
when you have a healthy sexual
sanity.
function
Yeah.
and sanity.
Right.
It's good to orgasm.
Oh my
Bringing
God,
back
it's the
the
best
joy.
antidepressant. I remember when I was younger, and I was dealing with much more like existentialistic crisis. They say youth is wasted on the young, and God, in my youth, I was just tormented with so much, just like why am I alive? And I remember like I went on like Prozac, and then I was just like, oh. Is this what it's like to just not have needs as a human? I just felt so like I don't think I'd ever felt fine before. But then it was like this was just like a dead raisin. There was nothing alive between my legs, and then I was
Same
like,
here.
well, this is just depressing on another level.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trading off depression. The only antidepressant I had before was orgasms. Then that's gone. And actually, I found it actually a more depressing exchange, to trade off orgasms for feeling okay all the time, because it is depressing to never be able to come, especially when you're in your 20s and you're just getting it all over.
Yeah.
I mean, myself.
Okay, so question. Orgasms. Do they help strengthen the vagina? Are they like a good, like, are they, is it beneficial to have orgasms more often?
I mean, I'm gonna say yes on every front.
Ding, 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 ding. The slot machine just spilled over.
Yeah.
Thank God. See, it's not a waste of time, everybody.
No.
right.
No.
Very worthwhile.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the biochemical releases and things that happen that are just super great for your body. And if, hey, it's you yourself giving yourself the orgasm, then you're building a relationship with yourself. But there's all kinds of great chemicals that help with that bonding.
Sorry. I was like,
over here sniffing your fingers.
I know. I was like,
oxytocin.
I was so great earlier today. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. Are you going to make a candle out of that smell?
We'll tell you about that later. You missed a little bit.
Darn.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as far as, I mean, ultimately, there are some contractions that happen, obviously, during orgasm. Are they going to be therapeutic for the pelvic floor? Sure, but I wouldn't recommend that being the only sort of pelvic floor therapy that you do. But
And don't we have to be careful too, especially us ladies with the vibrators, because like I've heard that your body will actually, kind of like acclimate to whatever you're using. So if you're just using your hand, your body will be like, that's enough. That's all right. But if you start using like the supersonic,
Magic
vibrator,
wand.
Fister 1000, that you're going to kind of acclimate your vag to.
By the way, the
that
Fister
kind of
1000
stimulation.
will be coming soon.
No
Brought to
pun
you by
intended.
Was That an Orgy? Don't
With a
steal our
matching
idea.
candle scent coming with it.
Yeah, called Bawd Pussy.
Yeah. The Bawd sisters. Ew, gross. Oh, God. Okay, but, I hope you finished your last thought, because I wanted to get to the bibbity bobbity doomy wand that you guys use.
Speaking of wands.
Speaking of wands.
Yeah, give us
I
download.
was mentioning before you got here that I heard about, I think it was like some kind of a Yugo. I'm just going to do it a discredit.
It's
Isn't
not
there
a
like
Yugo. That was an old
yeah.
car.
It's not a Fiat either. That would break down inside. Wasn't there some kind of a wand that's used intravaginally on women to stimulate?
So,
Yes.
you are referring to our women's intimate health technologies.
Yes.
So there are a variety of different options out there on the market, but I've been watching them for about 5 years or more, deciding what I thought was the most effective. So as far as technology goes, there's what they call CO2, which is extreme resurfacing, as one option. And then another option is radio frequency or deep heat that can be applied to the pelvic floor. For me, for tightening, because the heat will cause... I'll use the technical terms, coagulation and neocollagenesis.
Sounds exciting.
And, yes.
It's hot when you talk like that.
Tell us more.
And so yeah, both of those things are good things, but most units have one or the other. And so the technology that we chose is the Juliet, which has both the ability to heat the pelvic floor for tissue tightening and resurface the tissue both internally and externally. So the idea is this type of technology is an erbium YAG based laser, and an erbium, all technologies, the target in the tissue is what makes them work, right?
Okay.
So the target in the tissue for this one is water in the cell. And so, as you may be aware, your vaginal canal, that tissue is mucosal membrane lining, very, very wet. If everything
On a
is
good
working
day.
correctly,
Yes.
and so anyway, there's a lot of that cell type there, and so so this technology is quite effective in that area. We use it for resurfacing the face and scars and different types of resurfacing in all parts of the body, but it's particularly effective in that zone.
Right.
And there is a wand, the magic wand, there is basically one insertion. And with the other technologies, another thing for me, the other technologies required the wand to be moving on a regular basis. And so you would go to get your treatment, and they would have to be inserting the wand and pulling the wand out, and inserting the wand and retracting the wand. And
Do you need volunteers for that study?
yeah, so you can imagine at some point, even though it was not the kind of environment where it's a clinical environment, women were orgasming on the table from these things.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at a certain
Yeah.
point, you
Benefit is
kind of
supposed
can't
to-
help yourself.
yeah, right. And I mean,
Right.
So what I liked about this, though, while I am fully in support of having all the fun that way that you can, when you're at a doctor's appointment to treat something, and maybe
Yeah.
So
A little awkward.
what I liked about this particular unit is there is the wand insertion, but the laser actually rotates a 360 inside the wand, and so you don't have to
cool.
reinsert it. It actually goes. Exposes the entirety of the vaginal wall canal, and then you just slowly extract it like 1 or 2 centimeters at a time, and it exposes the vaginal wall
Wow. Fascinating.
To that.
That's
And then
awesome.
Then there's one, and then you don't take the wand out entirely. You reinsert it. It's just kind of a back in once after it's taken about 10 minutes to cover the full tissue. And then that second pass is a different setting, a different temperature, and it that's the pass that does the deep heating of the pelvic floor to tighten the tissues.
Oh my God, that's kind of like the everything one. Wow.
And then you can also, because it is a thing, I mean, especially like, I mean, you guys, I don't know if you've talked about this, hair trends of the
Oh my
current
God.
day and age. It pretty
Yeah.
much is just
Yeah.
to be totally bald, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine if people are into that. But because of that, it's not the 70s anymore.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see the underwear back in those days. But now it's like if there's no hair, then the labia and the size of the labia and once you do have children or go through menopause, that changes the labia and the structure of the tissue as well.
Like getting laser hair removal or waxed or shaving or
Just
everything.
because you can see like there's less subcutaneous fat kind of, and so it can look like the lion from the Wizard of Oz, like
a little hair is like the sweatpants for your vagina. You can't really like.
Am I
see
saying it
Is
right?
Is that right?
And that's what I'm getting at is
Okay.
if because the trend
Cowardly
now
lion.
is
Yeah.
to, Brazilians and whatnot, or having a little landing strip or whatever it is, but a lot of people are choosing to have their labia fully exposed without hair now. Well, that fully exposes the labia. So if there are any people are sensitive about how firm and how attractive their labia are now.
Right.
And so there
More
are
than ever.
Yeah. Well,
Totally.
seriously. I mean, it's a thing. And so this laser is able to tighten the labia.
Oh my God! So
as
it goes
well.
all the way from the pelvic floor all the way to your labia. So basically, it kind of goes
Yes, it's
In a
going to
way.
tighten. It's going to tighten.
sound effects.
You're
You're welcome.
It's going to tighten the majora too.
Yes.
Wow.
It will tighten the majora.
Wow.
There are labiaplasties that happen. People can actually, snip a little bit of the tissue away and suture them up. If you would want to, but you're able to tighten the tissue with this technology too. So
That's pretty awesome.
That is
so
awesome.
any signs of gynecological aging, basically, incontinence is a huge thing, and this technology specifically can't say that it treats incontinence, but I can tell you 2 weeks after having a treatment, I get women calling, crying, saying, "Oh my God, I'm jumping on the trampoline with my kids and I'm not peeing my pants anymore."
That's so
I can
sweet.
sneeze again.
Because
Yeah.
that's pelvic floor stuff.
It's pelvic floor stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
And stimulating fresh blood flow and fresh new cells in that area just tightens the tissue as well, and so it will also tighten that pelvic floor, help with that in that regard. The urethra is there. It's like it's amazing to have something besides those net surgeries and things like that that they use. Those have been problems with that. So, I think there's going to be more studies and more information coming about that. But yes, it's a really nice option to have for people. But it also helps with the re-epithelialization. You get literally a whole stack of new, healthy, fresh, dewy, pink tissue. It becomes more pillowy, is what I'm told by.
Sign the Bawd sisters up.
That's right.
right.
Inside,
Who wants
outside.
to fund our
Guinea pig these sows out right here. No, just kidding.
We need to have a vajuvenation drive.
Vajuvenation. A vajuvenation fund. I love it. Yes, that's a great idea.
Oh my God.
It also increases sexual function. That's like, the
that's what I was
home
gonna
run.
ask.
Boom, that is the
home run.
cherry
Pulled
on
it out
top
of
of
hive
that
mind.
sundae.
I was like, going to say like, I hope that the best part of all of this is that it increases your own pleasure. Yes.
that
Thank you,
really
baby Jesus.
That really is, because in the end, who cares? You know, like if you're cool with the way your pussy looks, whatever it looks like, or your dick or balls or somewhere in between, whatever. If you're happy with that, that is so awesome.
Totally.
But God, if it makes you feel better, hell yeah. That is the best.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, these lasers were created for the aesthetic application initially,
Yeah.
but then we realized they helped with all signs of gynecological aging,
Right.
and so
Amazing.
very, very powerful. And I can tell you, done in conjunction with that O shot we were talking about. Hello, sisters.
Hello. Hello.
That's great.
my
you know,
God.
one of
Mama's
the
going
things-
out tonight.
Right, exactly. Every night.
Oh my God.
But one of the things I think is really great about that is that, you know, our life expectancy is not what it used to be. So I'm so glad that these technologies exist now because we're living longer and we want to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Till
I
we're,
don't
you know,
wanna
pushing up the
watch
daisies.
Matlock. I want to be having
You want to
sex.
fuck Matlock? I'm just kidding.
No.
Just
Is
kidding.
he dead?
I don't even know.
don't know.
I could Google it, but
Yeah.
squirrel.
But you know, we have something better to do, like
Yeah.
a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
okay, female orgasms. I've been talking about with friends about this, like how many different kinds of female orgasms are there? Like I used to think there was just one, but now as it turns out, you can orgasm from so many different things. Like, do you have any track on how many different kinds of orgasms there are possible?
I mean, you know, there's clitoral, and then there's the deep vaginal, and then if you're lucky, there's both. You know,
Oh my God, that's a good day.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good day
yeah.
when that happens.
Yeah. And you know what? I was just about to be the bearer of bad news, so I'm glad you didn't have to expound too much because
It's 6 o'clock.
what? Can you believe it? The time flies when you're having fun.
Oh my God.
I know.
Is there anything that you really, really wanted to say that you didn't
Yeah,
get to
'cause we
say?
can go a
we
little
want to give you a
over.
few minutes if
can-
there's anything you were like dying
No.
to give us.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, We
Okay.
can't go a little over.
All right.
We got to get out. It's his birthday. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah,
right.
we have to give him spankings
Michael's
still.
birthday.
And I can always come back.
Yeah,
You can always come back. Oh, I would love to have you back.
Yeah,
This
think
was
about all
so
the stuff you
good.
didn't say. And then
Yeah,
come back.
that's right. So Dr. Marcea Wiggins.
Yeah.
Look up her bio on the show notes. She's amazing. Again, we go to Santé for so much stuff, and it's an incredible place.
It is. It's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, and thank you for being with us, everybody. And we will
Yeah.
see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Pew, pew. 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 Oh, pew.
Ooh, a little stinky one, my stinky one. When you're gonna finger blast my vagina, I'll give you a motorboat, a motorboat. This diaper's coming off my vagina, never gonna stop. Get it up, such a dirty mind. You're steaming up, blow your mind, watch me bump and grind. My, oh, pew! My vagina. My vagina. When you gonna lick it up, my custard cup. I want a mustache, right, vagina? No, it's red and blistery. It itches me, dripping down the length of my thighs, vagina. Two in the peak. Don't forget to put one in the stink. Rock that sucker in the pit and drink. My, oh, spew. My vagina.